Right, we are back with That Number podcast. Ben's unavailable this week. He's away at Download Festival, so we hope he enjoys himself. But I'm in good hands. We've got a friend on the podcast here, Aidan. You've been on before. It's good to see you again, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, cheers for having us again, Gas. Just last minute, obviously chucking us a message. Can you jump on? Absolutely. Enjoyed it last time. Had a good chat, and more than happy to do even future ones as well.
Yeah, so really bail us out, and you're always welcome on. Just reminders, we are going live next week on YouTube. We haven't decided the time just yet, but we will let everyone know in due course, and that takes you directly to the YouTube channel. So Leeds away last week on a Thursday, and I thought we had it in the first half until that late try on half time, mate.
Well, that's it. For me, it was a much better improvement from what we had a couple of weeks before at Cass. That was probably the worst Saints performance I've seen in my lifetime. Obviously, we've been beat by bigger scores, but I think it was just the magnitude of how we went about our business in that game. We just wasn't
weren't interested.
Yeah, wasn't Saints standard. It just wasn't. And to bounce back, having that week off, that first half was good. It was enjoyable. Right direction. And I thought, yeah, we've probably got this one because we were the better team against Leeds in the first half. But I did have the back of my mind during the half-time sort of break that can we actually follow it up, because this season we're yet to do like an 80-minute performance, and it shows that we didn't.
Yeah, the closer we got to that was Good Friday, I think. We had that little 10-minute spell where they got on top, but after that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because even like Good Friday, that we had that sort of middle spell, but I'll just put that down because we were down on troops in that game. But brilliant game that we came back. But for the Leeds game again, it was just another scoreless half. I've never known anything like it, where we just, if you pile up the amount of halves that we haven't scored, it needs to be looked at. Now, don't get me wrong, the discipline was, disgusting from our end.
Yeah.
In the same breath, like the referee was, we didn't get a sniff, but we
didn't help ourselves, did we? We didn't help ourselves in that area.
Well, that's it. We put ourselves in those positions to get pinged. So it's still down to us, albeit that the ref didn't favour us that game at all. He never does, Jack Smith. So, and we know that as a team. So don't put us ourselves in that position at the end of the day. So discipline definitely needs looking at this week and future games.
I did enjoy the little back and forth between Feld and Connor. I thought that was hilarious, to be fair. I want to see more of that in the game.
Yeah, to be honest, it's what gets you up for it, and as fans, it gets you like excited rather than just turning up, watching the game, and going home. Leeds and Saints used to be big rivalries. I'm all for bringing that back, and and then it's like the same with Wigan at the minute, with all the stuff that's being said in the press. It's good for the game. Makes me froth at the mouth as a Saints fan with what's being said, you know what I mean? But it gets you excited for, Magic Weekend to come in the next few weeks.
That's it. It does make you want to do them at Magic, doesn't it? But I mean, that's going to be a tough game. That's a conversation for a different day, to be honest. But
100%, they're just unfortunately going in the right direction, aren't they, Wigan? Unfortunately, you hate to admit it.
Those young lads,
annoying. But that's where we should have been, with our. Old guard leaving, the likes of Tommy Mack leaving, Percy's at the back end of his career. We've had numerous players that have left over since our, good run. We should have had this new crop of players coming through. We have in drips and drabs, but we're probably not playing them as much as we'd like, and probably some players aren't up to the scratch to maintain their spot in the first team. So it's all round. We just need to be better as a club.
Yeah. I mean, we have got Robertson there, who's not in his natural position. He's a natural fullback. And then you've got Owen Dagnall, who doesn't know if he's playing wing or centre by the week.
Well, that's it. And the thing is, with Dagnall, he's played his best games on the left wing.
Yeah.
And he's been played on the right when Murphy's getting played on the left. I'd just switch him. If that's the future with Dagnall and Murphy is the direction by the looks of the club's going, I'd switch him, because Dagnall is a much better left winger than Murphy is. And we've seen the best out of Dagnall last year, I feel, when he has been on that left edge. And I think he played one game this season on the left edge and was much better. But we're not the coaches. It's them that see how they perform. At training, which we don't see, but on the field, I feel like that's where it speaks volumes the most, rather than training, in my opinion.
Do you think that in that game last week, I mean, the amount of sets we had to defend in our line in the first half, do you think Traynor came into it as well? And then the carelessness came in.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely zapped us, because even in the first half, despite us going, 16-8 up at half time, we were zapped on energy big time. And I was happy for the half time, because I thought that'd do us a world of good, to then go back out there. But again, we followed the same pattern of just being ill-disciplined, and we hardly had the ball. I think we was on the line 2 or 3 times the whole second half, and you can't expect to win games off the back of that. And a little bit of credit to Leeds, but it was more us. It was more us that put them in that position, for them to the amount of goals they had on our line, and for us to keep it at 24 points is just fair enough. But again,
we did help them out, but they're just playing what's in front of them at the end of the day. They deserve the win. There's no question about that. I'm not going to take that away from them. But it's just the discipline is just starting to wind me up a bit now, because the professional players, they know what they're doing.
It's boring, isn't it? Like you sort of semi-expect at the start of the season, when you just get new combinations together, new players are in the team. So at the end of the day, it should be happening mid-season. Like, this is where you should be sort of gearing up to playing your best, not so much as your best rugby, but on an upwards trajectory. And we're not. We're in, if anything, we're on a bit of a downward spiral at the minute. So, not really ideal.
Yeah, but it is a game where we can take positives. Unlike Casford, obviously for reason, and Huddersfield before that, we just went to sleep the second half, and if they'd have been a slightly better team, they'd have come back and beat us, if I'm honest.
Yeah, because that was another poor game in itself, in my opinion. Because let's face it, Huddersfield, they're just there to make the numbers this year, in my opinion. They've won 2, albeit it was against Wigan, one of them. But at the end of the day,
Wigan side.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those. Like, what wound me up about that game was it was the back of a really poor loss in that semi-final. I really wanted a reaction from the players. The players should have been fired up, and if anything, they were just deflated and just went the other direction, which is not the great signs of a champ. If you want to be playing for silverware, that's not the attitude to have. Absolutely not, because there's been times where we've bounced back before and won on trophies, like Challenge Cup Final 2019. We got beat. We bounced back the following week, won the Shield, and had that momentum, then go on to win the league. There's just no signs of that in this team at the moment, and it's just frustrating as a Saints fan at the moment.
Yeah, and I think we are where we are at the moment because of the inconsistency in KR early on the season. Then Wigan had that bad run as well. I think if it weren't for that, we'd be 6th at best.
Yeah, and even if KR and Wigan were as they were, where they are mid-table themselves at the minute, if we didn't have that strong last, 8 minutes against Wigan and didn't win that game, I think we'd be sat in 6th right now. And easily. 2 points off, dropping out of the 7 and just proving that Matt Shaw right, which, at the start of the season, I was like, what's he smoking? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be, but it's looking likely at the minute, unless we bounce back this week against Wire. It's a must-win game.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was just scrolling through the social media waiting for you, and I came across the back 10. And I can't remember who was saying it, but he was saying it is a must-win game midway through the season. We haven't beat them in 8 games. We need to start beating these teams above us or around us.
Absolutely. It's been a long time since we beat them as well. I think it was the playoff game at home in 2023 was the last time we beat them. That's a long time to beat a Wire team. We've had our tit for tat over the years against Wire, and we've always had the upper hand. Going to their ground was essentially our second home, and now it's just it's now becoming a bogey ground. And
and they don't let us forget it either.
No, and that's all they've got to jump on. Yeah, no, that's it. That's all they've got to jump on. They've never won a title. You know what I mean? We're sat here with 10. In terms of the Super League era, we won more in the space of 4 years than they ever have done in their club's history. So leave them to it, in my opinion. That's it. They're not a big club.
So moving on to Warrington. Again, so it's got a massive hoodoo. We've got a squad up here. I'm well aware that it does say Jake Sinclair. That's ChatGPT doing me over. But I don't know why it's done that to me, but every week it does something.
Yeah, pros and cons to the eye.
That's it, yeah. So we see that Robertson drops out and he's replaced by Dion Cross. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know we had a slight tear going into the last game.
Well, yeah, he pulled up, didn't he? I think there was like a goal line dropout at some point in the game last week, and he sort of pulled up. Unfortunately, according to Rowley, he'll be just dropping out this week and bouncing back next. But that remains to be seen because he's been mentioning that McDonald's meant to be coming back in a couple of weeks ago, and we're still sat here without even being named in the side, let alone even contention of playing.
You don't want him being rushed back, do you?
That's it. So it's just finding that balance, isn't it? So it's what's right, and there's some good news next week by the sounds of it that Jacob Holst is coming back. Hopefully, slowly drip feeding back in because he was probably one of our best forwards before he went off and had that injury because he's coming hit the ground running in my opinion, and unfortunately had that bad injury. So fingers crossed it's not like a Parsi situation where they just didn't recover from a bad injury. So we'll see. It's all to be seen.
Yeah, it is. And on the sheet, there's the new recruits, Daniel Saluka Fafita. So I've not heard great things about him, especially from fans of the NRL. But at the end of the day, there's players who've been over there in the second grade who have come over and been superstars. So it all remains to be seen.
Well, that's it. And what I cast my mind back to is, we had Saints fans complaining about us signing a Zeb Taylor, and he came in and, did wonders. We signed Siranin, was like, oh, he's injury prone, who's this? He's ended up being one of our best second rows. And even I remember Coote, like everyone was like, oh, we've dropped Barber for Coote, and Coote's ended up actually, being one of the better players. So, exactly. So we got more out of Coote.
That was technically gifted, but he had a better mind for the game, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Like at the end of the day, Coote was, one of the highest for assists. The amount of assists that he did for the game, he brought a kicking game for us and just had a steady head. It's what we needed at that time, and it pulled off. So for me, despite all I think the word that they've been using for this Sulka Fafita is that he's a pudding. So for me, I'll just wait until I've seen him in the same shirt. Yeah, I'll see how he performs and see how he gets on, and hopefully proves people wrong because it's what you want. You want the club to do well.
That's it. And another new name on the sheet here, and whether he makes the 18 or not remains to be seen. But Deacon Swarbrick, another academy graduate. I've heard good things about him. He plays like in the backs, so you never know, do you?
Well, that's it. I've not heard of him. I've not heard of anything about him, but it's like that with most kids until you see them, and give him the shot. Chances are he probably won't play this week. He's just there just to get his name on the team sheet. But if he does make it, then, hopefully he gets a game because, again, like last week, I think we would have ended up playing with 15 players if it wasn't for Whitley to have an HIA because I don't think Davis would have come on. So we would have been sat there with 15 players. Ultimately, we finished with 16. But we've not been using our full squad. But we discussed just before the podcast that it seems like there's a rule with the young kids that they can only play a certain amount of games. But I don't know if clubs can overrule that. I don't know if it's actually enforced or if it's a recommendation. I'm not sure, but I'd like to actually.
So I have heard that he can only play so many games, or like you can only meet a certain quota of minutes or whatever. Anyone in the who's listening on the comments, let us know so we can be corrected if I'm wrong. But that's what I'm led to believe, which does make sense if you look at it that way.
Yeah, it does. If that's the case, then yeah, fair enough. That's why Davies ain't getting this game time. But for me, I'd have him starting every week.
Yeah.
Personally, like you don't score 4 tries by fluke, and
no, and for the back row as well.
Exactly. He scored 4 tries on the bounce. Runs his blood to water, tackles hard, runs hard, has a bit of a step on him, got a bit of footwork. I just don't rate Whitley. I'll preach it to the top of the mountains.
Yeah,
I really don't.
thought we had a good play coming because we was seeing what he did at Catalan, but his defense, yeah, I can live with that, but his attack, I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, I've even questioned his defence sometimes, Gals, because if you actually look, sometimes he gets bumped off quite a bit,
Yeah.
and he's quite error-ridden as well. If there's ever a loose ball, guarantee if he jumps on that ball, he's knocking on. I always say to my brother, he's going to knock on here. Won't be old, it's always the case. So
you say that about Walmsley, but he's gone back to his old ways. Walmsley has.
Yeah, like last 2 seasons, he's got his head down because I don't know what he was doing in back end of 23, the 24 season. He was just offloading when it didn't need to be. There was errors coming in the play. There's still a couple of errors that he does, but he does more good than bad, and that's all I care about. If your output's more good than bad, then fair enough. Because it's like we felt, he might score those tries, but that's all he does. Yeah, he scores 1 try, and then he brings more bad. He was a key player last week that let us down, and a big part of why we probably went on to lose that game. Like that 40-20 attempt that should have been snooped up. He steamed out the line for 1 and did a late shot on another where they got a penalty. There's a few things that just creeps into that guy's game, and it's probably speaks volumes why we're not hearing any rumours of him signing on again.
Yeah, and I didn't expect to it from day one, to be honest. I thought, he's just going to come over, guys. I mean, he's given us a lot of tries. You know what I mean? We appreciate that, but he just wants to see his last couple of years out, I think, and then just get the payday.
Yeah, it looks that way. And it's Phil. I don't want to be too hard on Clemmer as well, but at the minute, I appreciate he's done long minutes for us. But his impact in terms of he might some games have always out he's the prop with the most meters, but he's played for 80 minutes. Look at his ratio of meters that he's done. So I feel like he could do better. Obviously, he's not the player he was. Let's put it that way. When he was playing for us about 6 or 7 years ago. But I'd like to see more out of him, like you do with all players. I don't want to bash them and go, I don't want them to do well. You do because you want the club to do well.
Yeah, I bang on about this all the time, as you probably know. For me, your forwards need to be getting those post-contact meters. Like you look at Walmsley, you get his tackle, and his legs are still going. He's still trying to get them extra 1 or 2 meters.
Stevens,
and you're not seeing it with Clemmer, are you?
No, he's been bumped up. Yeah, he's been bumped up a few times, hasn't he? Clemmer, he's been bounced off a few times. Cyril does, Cyril, he's good at those post-contact meters. You've seen it straight away, even though we played really poor against Cass. You've seen a huge difference when he came on the field. Sorry, it was against Huddersfield. But he's Father Time's catching up with him a little bit, but we're still getting some good meters off him. As I mentioned before, Stevens, it's gutted for him at the minute that he's out with like damage or something. But I think he's probably alongside Walmsley our best forward. Young, good post contact
games. Like KR away, there was only Stevens trying.
It's only him that put his hand up, wasn't it?
He was like, give me that and run it in.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what you want. Range a bit like James Graham from years ago.
Yeah,
I think there's Scouser as well himself, I think.
I call him Fred Flintstone.
Yeah,
he just looks like him.
Yeah, he does. But good player. Looking forward to him getting back, and hopefully host as well, as I mentioned before. So there's promising times. We just need to, kick it into gear.
That's it. It's about them. I mean, you can put as much of this on the coach as you want, but like we said before we went on air, you have a game plan going into a season from pre-season where you think, right, this is my team, this is what I'm starting with, this is what I might rotate, and within 3 games, blown out with the amount of injuries we had.
And ironically, we did our best rugby with all our players out.
We did. Yeah,
our good run of form has been when we've had all those players out, where we've actually had the kids playing, where they've been playing the heart on the sleeve, and it's promising for when they actually mature a little bit more. I feel like it was one game too far against KR where we ended up getting blown out the water that time, but
that was their first home game of the season as well, so they were going to put a performance in.
They were due a win as well. Like they were like hungry for a win, so we just accumulation of everything. But yeah, our spine obviously broke up from game 1 technically, because obviously Wellesby did his shoulder in against Wire.
Yeah.
Obviously we had planned to have Wellesby at fullback and Sailor at 6. Now I'm constantly hearing for the last few weeks what's our spine going to be, and I'm so bored of it, because this is what we was going on about last year. And there's rumours that we're signing Sailor on for another year, but we can't play with 2 fullbacks. Sailor's
going to be 3 years with an extra year option.
So it's a tough one, because obviously Sailors will know those man of the matches throughout the season, but then when he plays poor, he's really poor. Do you know what I mean? I want to get back to whenever our team's playing poor, that we're still getting 6 or 7 out of 10. When he's playing poor, he's 1 out of 10. He's hiding. Some defensive errors are questionable, and Wellesby's getting a lot of bash at the minute. And I thought last week that was his best game of the season so far. Obviously, albeit he wasn't actually lighting the world up, but that's his natural position. It worked partially with Sailor on the wing, but you can't have a player of his calibre or how much money we're paying him to just be shoved on the wing. It's interesting to see what we'll do this week, because
I do like how Sailor will just, if he's asked to play somebody, he'll just go and do it.
Yeah, he puts his hand up.
Yeah,
he does put his hand up.
Play every game, doesn't
he? Yeah, that's it. So rumours are true that he's signed an extension then, albeit there's some quirky rumours this week. I don't think it's true, but that Wellesby's been snapped up by Hull FC.
Because what I've been hearing is going to PNG Chiefs.
Yeah, there's been that. Then Hull FC fans, I've only heard it from Hull FC fans, so I think it's just them just taking the mick a little bit, because they've already just signed that Hodgson from Lee, haven't they, for fullback, and they've got, Will Price there as well. I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know if he's had an extension, but
it says it all when we get in trouble by all FC fans, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So they threw a bit of a rumour spanner in the works for us this week, but I don't believe it. So we'll see. Time will tell.
I think Wellesby would take that.
Yeah.
But what I will say on Wellesby is, like, you can put it on Felt if you want, because he should have just backed himself and gone for the corner. But the ball comes out to Wellesby. He ends up on his knees. He's got 4 or 5 Saints players behind him, and he's just looking round. Next thing, Ryan Hall takes the ball off him.
Yeah,
that is not good enough in my opinion. For a player who's supposed to be his caliber, that is not good enough. I can't defend that in any way.
No, I struck a bad memory there, because I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you not offload? As you say, bodies were there, keep the ball alive. But it goes back to Felt. He should have just gone in the corner. That was a try.
Yeah,
that's a try. That was like,
he just didn't back himself.
Yeah, it was like a whack of Blake from a couple of years ago against Lee, where it should have been a try, and he just cut back inside to.
I think so. Blake had more space to run into than bloody Rocket.
Yeah. But he's doing bits at Bradford. But again, if he was
found his level, isn't
he? Yeah.
No disrespect. Bradford doing well, to be fair. Give him the due, like.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on the schedule for yourself, but there's another rumour this week. I don't know if you've heard about Dodd potentially coming back to us.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't believe that one.
I hope not. We're going backwards at that point. The fans were getting quite hostile with him. and he's another one that didn't really recover from his injury, came back, and he played well in that World Club Challenge, and then he was just very readable. Is it drop off here? He didn't take on the line. It was just catch and pass. It was too predictable. And we'll be going backwards if we do end up signing him, if that's true. Someone mentioned on Twitter, if he comes in as a backup option, then yeah, fair enough. But I can't see him signing for Saints again to be a backup option. He'll want to be starting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up how many years he's got in his Catalan contract, to be fair. Not getting a lot of information on it.
I think it's till the end of next year. So regardless, it's one of two options. Either Catalan give him early release.
Yeah, he signed an extension earlier this year.
Or did he?
I believe, from what I'm reading. I'm not sure. That's the only thing with rugby league. You can't find anything out.
It's one thing that we're so amateur as a sport. We don't know how much players get bought for and how much they go for. And what you can't really keep tabs on contracts. But if I know for a fact he's there for at least till the end of next year, so we'll have to buy him out of the contract or Catalan give him early release, whichever.
Yeah. I don't see him wanting to do that. If I'm honest, I mean, why would he come back here when you're in the south of France? Early.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unless it's just some family issue. I don't know if he has to come back for family matters because he's gone all the way to. He's been in Oz for a year and then France. He's not been home for 2 years. Might be something so that he wants to be home. So I don't know, but that's the rumor, and that's. I hope it just stays as that. If I'm honest.
Yeah, that we will reiterate that these are rumours. None of this is official. We're just speculating on this. So, I'll move on to the women's game. A closer affair than last time, but kept it professional and got the win over Huddersfield, who are improving by the season.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't watch it, but when I seen the scoreline, it made sense to me because that would have been emotionally draining for the women for the amount of points that was put on them at Wembley. That's a big kick in the teeth for them, and then for them to get back up again the following week and to actually just pull off a win at the end of the day, it's hats off to them because that's a big confidence killer that last week against Wigan. Yeah. They were, torn apart. It's in a final that is gutting. So for them to actually pull off a win, despite whoever's in front of you, it's a step in the right direction to get back on the horse, as they say, for them. So, I can't knock them for that.
Yeah, and I did earmark Eva Hunter to have a good game in that final, and Bill did she? 4 tries she scored.
Yeah,
torn us apart.
Yeah, I had it on before the the actual cup final game, and it was just as soon as she was on the ball, it was just a break after break after break, and it was the same last year. Really good player that Wigan have, and again, they're just doing everything right at the moment. But what do you expect when they've got huge investment behind them now?
But it's what the game needs, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. We need more investments, and I know at the minute that probably the women's game is taking a loss for clubs, and that's why Wigan are able to do it because they've got their investment. They're able to take that loss for the time being, and back them. But that's how you're going to strive and move forward. A lot of our Saints players, as you know, they're an aging side now. Saints women, 2 are retiring. Faye Gaskin, she was meant to be retiring a couple of years ago. Yeah, and she's came back and had another at least a few years in her. Believe it or not, she used to be one of my tutors actually at college.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She was a tutor of mine at one of my colleges. So yeah, if she watches the podcast, I don't know if she remembers me, but hi.
She follows, but I don't know if she watches.
Yeah, but that's it. Let's get the numbers in for the podcast. Let's get them up.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, we know Jodie and Emily are going into the season. Amy Hardcastle's been around a good few years now. Like you said, Faye Gaskin as well. Zoe Harris has been around a long time.
Exactly.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing from these young players. Like I say, careful what you say, Gaz. You've got Danny McGifford, who's getting better by the year. She's been fantastic this season. You've got young Mia Drescher, who's coming through.
Yeah.
You know, there's Rebecca Rotherham at fullback. You know, the two wingers are spot on.
Yeah.
There is potential there. We just need to get it together properly.
Yeah, that's it. For me, our women's team was going through a transitional period, just like the men's, where there's a lot of people that's going to be leaving, and it's going to be mad to see the dynamic of the women's team next year, of how we actually get on and how we've actually bounced back with, with the likes of Rudge and Cunningham actually, leaving, because they've been there since day one, near enough.
Yeah.
Since the women's game started, really, and it's going to be strange without actually them being in the side. But yeah, we have got a lot of young crop at least to come in and just take the chance, and it's probably what we need, because that's what Wigan have done. Wigan women, they've got all the young talent that's sort of come through with a lot of experienced players as well that they've brought in, and it's just been a good dynamic, and that's how the men's game, for Saints, that's how we were successful, that we had our young crop of players coming up, and then we had a sprinkle of experience in there, and that is the recipe of a good team. And we, as a club, we've dropped the ball. I feel like we're a couple of years behind now than where we want to be.
Yeah, we should have sorted this out end of 2022. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's when we should have started the rebuild.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. With regards to the men's,
those other two titles then, or the title or whatever.
But that's it, because I know we got the World Club Challenge, but it's one of those at the time. If you turn around and even hindsight's a wonderful thing, but at the time, if for whatever reason we turn around and went, right, Makinson's not getting a new contract, Percival's not, Bachelor, you're on your way out now, and you'd be like, what are you doing? We've just won titles with these. You would, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. You can see those players deteriorate. Lomax, another one. So yeah, we'll see.
I think would have kept James Bell for another year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. I'd have had him as our starting 13. Over Shorrock. Shorrock should be the backup to him, in my opinion, because it was difficult replacing Knowles as it was, and we just made it ourselves harder. I don't understand.
So we got rid of both our 13s in the same end.
And what are we doing? What are we doing? It's a difficult one, because Hull came in with a 3-year deal for him. We might have offered him a maximum of 2. You're going to take the 3-year, aren't you? And
that's it.
We probably did the right thing to do a 2-year deal, because he's an aging player himself, but it is what it is. You might have had to, stick your neck out and keep him, but
I mean, to get Bachelor going, he's closer to home now when he's playing against his brother in derby games, so he's probably made the best choice for himself.
Yeah, we've got the best out of Batch, I think. Like that 21-22 season, we got the best.
Oh, it was
the best out of him, and then he slowly dipped off from 23, but they all did. They all dipped off from 23 for numerous reasons, whether that be Wellens' style of play, age, catching up with them. It was just a combination of everything. And we just need to get out of this, because it's a difficult position where we're at as a club at the minute. And
I think we just need to beat a big side that we haven't beaten for a while, and this is the perfect time to do it, especially after the way they played at the weekend. Anything like that, then surely we can get it.
Yeah, because they were really poor last week. Really poor.
I've not seen them play that bad for a long time.
Yeah, like Hull were poor. They were just really poor. You know what I mean? And if they play like that and we play the whole game like we did in the first half, we do beat them. This week, it's if we can. Can we put in an 80-minute performance? If we put an 80-minute performance in equivalent to how we did in the first half of last week, we win. I think regardless, it's if we do. That's the question. We need one over them. We need one to turn the season around, in my opinion, because if we lose this one, it's, I know we've got Huddersfield again next week, but then we've got another banana skin against Bradford away. Yeah. If we lose this, it's a mental game. We probably end up losing the Bradford away game. We win this week, puts us in good stead to beat Huddersfield next week, get the momentum and get that Bradford away win, and then we might be in a better position. But for me, it's a must-win. It is a must-win game. We lose this, we might as well, in my opinion, just say goodnight to the season, because you're not winning silverware if you're where you're at this point in the season, where you sat ended up being sixth or whatever that may be this year.
And we just need to shut them up for a bit as well.
I'd love that. You know, I was hopeful.
You know, though, we gave it to them back then. They're giving it back now, so it is what it is. It's fair game.
That's it. How many times have we beat them in the last minute over the years, and had Halliwell Jones as our second home ground, you know, and then gone on to win, you know, the big one, you know, the Super League, which they never have. So let them have the 8, 9, 10, whatever in a row, but we're just shutting them up for just one game.
It's the end of the season that matters.
That's it. And that's all that matters. And at least every year they've had the We Beat Saints trophy. You know, let them have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can have that. They've got nothing else in the trophy cabinets anyway.
That's it.
So we touched on the youth of the club, and on that, Derek Traynor set to retire at the end of the season. Yeah. I mean, what a job he's done with the academy, bringing so many players through.
Yeah, he was at the club when I was playing years ago, because I used to play for Saints service area when I was younger, you know, where you'd end up being picked for what was known as St. Helens service area, which was like the step before, you know, you went on to play for the academy. And he was present always, you know, being vocal with the kids, and got a lot to thank for him through our kids coming through the ranks over the years. And I think it's a shame that, you know, when the rumours were coming out that he was leaving the club, that he'd left and quit or whatever that may be. No, he's retiring, you know, which is the terms that he should be, leaving on. Might be the right time for him now. Yeah, might be the right time for him.
He's 6 years old now, so he's served his time, hasn't he?
That's it. He's done a lot for the club, and we've had a lot of good crop of St. Helens youngsters come through. And, you know, he's been a pivotal guy that's ended up pinching players from, you know, Widnes, you know, a few, you know, Wiganers, though, that have become on to be Saints superstars, you know, and we've got him to thank for that a lot of the time. Obviously, there's other people behind the scenes that help that, but he's been sort of at the forefront of the academy. So, yeah, probably the right time that he's leaving. But
yeah,
we're going in a new direction as a club now, so it all I suppose, remains to be seen.
That's it. I mean, the list of players that he's brought through into the first team is endless, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think the first big name he did it with was Lee Breers.
Yeah,
maybe Danny Arnold.
Yeah, because I think what has he been at the club 30 years, something like that.
1995 he joined.
Was it? Yeah. So yeah, I think Danny Arnold was coming through around that time. He only played a good couple of years. I think it was before my time, though. But you just know from videos, you know, that 96 season, he was, you know, he had a good quality.
Try machine.
Yeah, exactly. You can't forget the kiss in the corner against, you know, Wigan on that Good Friday. You know, the cheesy kiss.
Remember that one very well.
Yeah, but. Yeah, as you say, I think he brought in the likes of Breers, you know, through the academy. You know, Wellings would have been around that time in '99 when he broke through.
Yeah,
you know, it's such a good crop of, you know, St. Helens players that have
maybe
come
Cunningham. I think Cunningham might have been there. I think
Cunningham was a little bit earlier than that.
19 in '96. Yeah,
I think Cunningham was breaking the scene just before, but again, he would have been nurtured by him because he wasn't playing consistent. Well, by the '96, he would have been playing consistently, but, you know, I'm just trying to think of all like the other players that have come through. You know, we had a good spell with Swift.
That's an entire podcast on its own, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Swift, Grace. You know, we've had players that have come through. Yeah. Wellesby, when he's been at his prime, you know, well, at his peak at the minute. I want him to get back to his peak. He's still young. Yeah. You can only hope. But yeah, personally,
I mean, like, a lot of them, even if they've not, you know, had a lengthy time at Saints, they've had Super League careers still.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, Swift's at Huddersfield, Dodd, you know, he's at Catalan. Might be coming back to us as we mentioned, but
Like Jamie
making some,
Foster, you know what I mean, came through, went elsewhere and done well for himself.
Yeah, exactly. So he's had a bit of a career out of rugby league, all thanks to him, nurturing and bringing him through the ranks. So yeah, quirky time to be at Saints now with all a lot of changes going on from head coaches to CEOs now and the academy, so on. Who else is leaving now? It's Eamon O'Carroll.
I'm going to guess Eamon O'Carroll's leaving, going to Union.
Yeah, not going to miss him. Personally, I think our defence has got. If he's come in as a defence coach last 2 years, it's got worse. You can only.
What's his name? French fella.
But to be fair, it's mad perception because
Fresneau, that's it.
Yeah, Fresneau, albeit he was poor in his own regard. I think in terms of if you look at the defensive stats, they speak for themselves. That Eamon O'Carroll this year has been the worst defensive coach for the last 5, 6, 7 years that we've had so far in terms of points conceded. Now, is that down to us having kids out playing? But those numbers that we've had posted against us is when the first team's been playing as well.
Yeah.
So for me, good luck to the fella, but he's not really brought anything, in my opinion. And then that's just me probably.
I can't argue with that, to be fair.
He's not brought anything, so be it. Bring whoever the next person is to come in and hopefully get back to that ruthless defence that we used to have under Wolf.
Yeah.
Because we were ruthless, albeit KR have dropped off this last couple of weeks. But you look at how KR have defended over the last couple of years, that the ruthless, up in the face, sturdy, stern, lack of missed tackle. And if there was ever a missed tackle, there's the backup defence. For us at the minute, we're dropping off. That you look at when I go back when I come home from the game and I rewatch the match, we're not lost, and you see the amount of missed tackles that we're doing.
Yeah,
it's not heard of by us. Now that could be the change of the game, but everybody's had to adapt to that change, and we need to as well.
Yeah, that's it. We've all had to look at the quick rut speed and adjust to it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's 6 agains, there's faster ruck speed, but we've had 6 agains now for the last 6 or 7 years, and we've managed to uphold that. So that can't be an excuse. It might be the quicker ruck speed now, but again, everybody's in the same boat.
It's up to them to get used to it.
That's it. We're in the same boat as everybody else, and you don't see, other teams missing the amount of tackles that we're doing at the minute. So, yeah, the defence definitely needs to be worked on big time, and discipline comes off the back of that as well.
That's it. Going right to the Championship now. Statement was released by the RFL regarding a salary cap in the Championship. I'll just flash it up here. Yeah. I don't mind it. I think it might. I mean, there's no relegation promotion now, but you had the clubs yo-yoing up and down. Like they come down, dominate the Championship, and go back up because you had more money. But I think this might even just playing field out a little bit more.
Yeah, it evens the playing field out first and foremost, because at the minute you've had the look to the likes of Wakefield, Lee, when they were in the Championship, basically fielding a Super League team. Which is this then going to hinder these clubs wanting to be a Super League team and put their name out there? Obviously, London are doing that right now, but I do think it's the right thing in terms of if you want a competitive Championship. It's mad that they didn't have one, but I think the biggest thing to take from that is to stop clubs just going bust. Like at the end of the day, a lot of the clubs that are sort of really struggling. Obviously, we've had Salford in Super League, but in other clubs, but a lot of them are struggling from the Championship.
Like
so this
Elliston, Oldham, North Wales. There's a lot of them.
That's it. That will then put them within sort of the umbrella limit, if you will, so to that they're not breaching that cap. Because if they breach the cap, then it'll only hinder themselves financially. So that's why it's good that we've got one in place now for them to at least maintain the finances. Because they're obviously not the best handling the finances at the minute. This will help the likes of the clubs like Whitehaven who have struggled. They're probably spending a little bit too much, for argument's sake. I think like last year they were looking at doing a telly, like a big telly, to try and get IMG gradings up. But
yeah, and they bought the screen and there was no cables, were they?
Yeah, daft. Like at the end of the day, they could have saved a few quid by just not putting it.
There's Lee Butterworth all over for you.
That's it. So it's good in the sense that hopefully it will steady the ship in the Championship for clubs to actually lay the foundation. But what's good about it as well is that you're not sort of restricted. If you start generating more income, your cap will increase as well. So your cap is based on your income, which is the right thing in my opinion. Which is, we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of years, and hopefully some teams are a little bit more steady. Because even Widnes has been one of them. They nearly went.
Yeah, Widnes has been a lot better.
Yeah. So for the likes of Widnes, if they start generating and building the club up again, they'll be rewarded with a higher cap, and then hopefully then build back into Super League if that's where they want to go. So it's all about managing the clubs, and I think it's the right decision for that purpose mainly.
Yeah, spot on. I'll go into the predictions now. I've got mine, Tom's, and Ben's here, so feel free to throw yours in as well. Once we've gone through these, mate. So I'll go Ben first. He's done Warrington to beat Saints. No wonder he's not turned up. He's got Wigan to beat Wakefield. It's on our league predictor, by the way. Don't know if you're in that.
So can have a look. Yeah, just so I know what the order of the games are.
Yeah.
So I'm used to do this.
Yeah, so we've got our own league in that number league.
Okay.
So he's got Leeds to beat Toulouse, Wigan to beat Wakefield, KR to beat York, FC to beat Huddersfield, Catalan to beat Castleford, and Lee to beat Bradford. Now I've got Tom's here somewhere. So Tom's gone Saints to beat Warrington, Wigan to beat Wakefield, Toulouse to beat Leeds. That's a brave one. I mean, it is in Toulouse, but KR to beat York. Yeah, it's a mad one there. Yeah, he's got Toulouse to beat York. KR to beat York, FC to beat Huddersfield, Catalan to beat Castleford, and Lee to beat Bradford.
Right, okay.
I'm going to find mine now. Do you want to give us yours while I get mine up?
Yeah, go on. For me, I can't back against Saints unless it's because I actually genuinely believe we've got a chance this week if we actually piece together the first 40 minutes and then actually follow it up in the second half at the very least. So I'm probably just going to go with Saints something daft like maybe 16-10. I'll be happy with
it will be a big score.
Any form of win, I'll be happy with. Something that we did against League at the start of the season, that type of win where we just grinded it out, held our line.
I'd take a chance for that drop goal in the last minute.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
No, that would wind them up.
Yeah, turning back the clock to those old days. Leeds to beat Toulouse. Absolutely. Toulouse are really poor, in my opinion. They're just... Yeah. I feel like KR will get back on the horse because, for me, it was a good game last week against Wakefield. Wakefield are not to be stopped at this season, and KR were coming off the back again. I go about the emotional drain of losing at Wembley, especially when they got beat convincingly in the end. But I feel like today's, they're at home again, and they'll end up probably turning against York. I think they'll turn them over.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game.
At home as well.
Waking scum. That'll be a good game, but I feel like Wigan will probably pinch it. At the minute, the kids are just flourishing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even if Aaron French doesn't play.
That Faramond.
It's mad, isn't it? Because
it does make me question this Jake Davis thing regarding so many minutes because Faramond's playing every week and he's younger.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been playing every week. Because if you remember, he went through a run of games when Wigan were losing. He was playing really poor. He was missing off tackles. The Wigan fans were saying he needed give him a miss this week, this and that, like kicking balls out on the full.
Yeah.
As soon as they turned up against us, it's ever since they played us in that cup semi-final, they've got the tail back up again. And
fair enough as well.
Yeah, it is what it is. We've gone one, like that game has been a definitive moment of the season so far for both clubs.
Yeah.
We were churning out wins, they were losing. We come to that game, we get beat convincingly, and we've fell off a cliff and they're climbing the mountain, as they say. So, that's going to be a poor game, isn't it? FC and Huddersfield. I think probably Hull will win that one. I think they'll end up just pinching that one. I think. I'll go with Catalan. They'll be probably hurting off the back of the that Wigan game. They're at home again. They seem to do better at home. So, and Cass don't really play well away. So I'll go with Catalan against Cass, and then Lee to do Bradford.
Yeah. So I'm going Saints for the exact same reasons that we've just discussed. I'm actually going Wakefield to beat Wigan. I think Wakefield are climbing again now. And I think Wigan's had a busy few weeks.
Yeah. I hope
Wakefield have had a week off here and there.
Yeah. I hope they have a bit of an emotional drain because they haven't shown any signs last week of a cup hangover. Probably because they had another high intense game and had to get up for it mentally because it was in France. But can they do it, hopefully on a rainy night in Wakefield?
Yeah.
So
the way Bellevue reacted after that Lino try later on shows the atmosphere they can generate as well.
Do you know what? I'm really happy to see how Wakey are going at the minute because I was one of the advocates for them to get relegated a few seasons ago, and I was happy that they got relegated because that season in 23 when they did, or was it 24?
They did them a world of good.
Yeah, it's done them a world of good for one, but two, they've doubled their attendance since then. I think before they got relegated, they were churning out 4K. They've got relegated. They've rejuvenated. They've got the band back together as fans. And last week was 8K. They've doubled their attendances and they're consistently doing it as well, which is good to see. But look what happens when you have a little bit of investment and you got a decent facility there at Bellevue now where they've actually got a little bit of a decent facility. They've literally doubled their attendance. And you can't knock them for that. 100%. I'm happy that they've brought it back and actually done something about it. And it just shows what IMG actually has done to a degree. How it likes to those.
It's made them pull their thing. That new owner as well. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
He's involved. He's not too involved like Derek Beaumont.
Yeah, well, that's it. He gets a bit of stick, but you know what?
Passionate.
That's it. Again, the fans up for it, which is what you want. So I don't have any issues with that.
Yeah. I'm going Leeds to beat Toulouse. I think Leeds are just firing out there. They just know what they're doing. KR to beat York. I think this is the game where Huddersfield get over the line. Because FC are piss poor out there.
Yeah. To be honest, they're both piss poor. They're both they just both stink at the minute. They're just.
I think it's more of a must-win game for Huddersfield because if they don't win this game, it's wooden spoon.
Yeah, which is again that's just poor, isn't it? When you've had three championship clubs that have come up, you've had the full investment of the cap, and you are finishing bottom. You deserve to go down, and. I know it made a difference where there was what was it? Was it Dewsbury or Batley? Where they were just recently, where they was at a championship ground on the week. Was it? Yeah, that was right first time. It did look better, but again, that was like championship numbers still. Do you know what I mean? They still had about 3 or 4K there. It's just, It's just not when we're wanting to get the sport to be in a certain position, it doesn't bode well that they're not helping for the advertisement of the sport, and that's where, for me, the sport itself, the product didn't need tweaking. It's the product's great. People love watching rugby league when it's at its best, and it just needs the best advertisement. But how can you advertise an empty stadium? You can't, can you? So
that's it. Well, I think with the injuries that FC have got as well, I mean, Aidan Caesar's not playing. He's actually been offered out to Super League clubs as well after this season.
Yeah, I think he's past his sell-by date. Myself, Caesar, I wouldn't take him.
He was. I reckon he'll end up going. Joe, I'm going to put fuel to the fire. This, but if Dodd does come here, I think he'll go to Catalan and go back under Cartwright.
It probably makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense with Cartwright being there because Cartwright rated him, didn't he? He hasn't been playing since Cartwright's left, but obviously he's rated him. So, he might go well over the,
Yeah.
Because I think he did all right in Oz, didn't he? Different type of weather, climate, so it might suit him actually playing for Catalan. So, yeah.
But all remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. We'll just...
Yeah. Speaking of Catalan, I'm actually going Castleford to win that one.
Yeah,
it might be a brave one, but
yeah, I'd have probably said Cass if Cass followed up the win off us last week against Leeds, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Because they were at home and they got beat by Leeds. I know, and it's obviously Leeds are starting to find a little bit of form now, but
yeah.
You'd have thought Cass off the back of beating us the way that they did. They played well, but we were poor. But at the same time, that is a confidence thing, isn't it? You'd have thought they'd have probably bounced back, but they haven't. And that's why I think, because then they got to go to France because they did back it up at home. I can't see them winning, but if they do, fair enough. It's just it won't surprise me with the way this year's going. Last couple of seasons, been some quirky results, haven't they?
Yeah, and speaking of Lee, if this is at Lee, I reckon it'd be a blowout score, but at odds are they'll just nick it, I think. Maybe by 2 scores.
Yeah, they're a team at the minute where they're just doing enough. They're going a little bit under the radar, building momentum back up again, where they probably should have been. I just think because they're getting the bodies back, they just didn't have the squad depth. So that's why they were sort of having a bit of a hiccup at the start of the season. And it was just coming to show which teams have a bit of squad depth, and that's why we were sort of persevering. But
I say outside of the usual 18 lead, they don't have a lot.
No, because they don't really have an academy, do they? I know they're probably piecing together one now, and I don't really know what the situation is there, but I believe they wanted to piece together one at least, where they could potentially come good with that. But at the minute, they've just got players that have just been bought. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's probably where KR are coming unstuck a little bit as well, because I think that's...
they dropped the ball because Farman's a Lee lad.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I thought that, and he's gone to them shower of shite, so...
Yeah. Shower of shite.
I hate them. I can't stand them.
No. Well, it's in our blood, isn't it? It's in our blood to wait him. And the other way around as well.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I think that about wraps it up, mate.
Yeah, nearly to the hour mark there.
So if you haven't seen on YouTube already, I've done a bit with the Women's Masters Rugby League Festival down at Thatto at the weekend. Go and check that out. It's only a short 5-minute video of what's going on, but it's there. And don't forget, we are going live next week. Again, we will be in touch with a time. I don't know if you can put messages out on YouTube or Spotify, but we'll do something anyway. So another Thursday night game to look forward to, mate.
Aye, what's that, our 4th Thursday night game in 7 games. It doesn't really happen, we say, but I suppose that's what happens when you turn into a bit of a fodder club. We've been synonymous for having Friday night games, and I love my Friday night games, and we've had, I think 1, maybe 2 this year. We've been sort of pushed out, cast aside for these fodder time slots.
It's actually Warrington's first of 3 in a row on a Thursday night. This.
Oh, really? So have they got free on the bounce on a Thursday now as well? About time we got back at home as well, because it's been over a month since we last
Who's the last
were
time
at
we played
home.
at home now? Was it York, was it?
York, I think it was
It feels like
the very
a
start
month
of
ago.
May. Yeah, very start of May. So we're talking 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, because we had the semi-final. We've had Huddersfield away. We've had Leeds away. Where else have we had? So we've had the week off the cup. Casford away as well.
Yeah, so we had 3 away games on the bounce with 2 Challenge Cup games in between that, and obviously we're in the semi for that. So yeah, about time we've got back at home. We've got and then a home game next week again as well against
Huddersfield.
So yeah,
we'll see what's going on with that anyway. Yeah, appreciate you coming on and helping me out, mate. You've really pulled us out the proverbial shit, as you say.
Don't worry, yeah. Happy to be on. Thanks for having us.
No problem, mate. And so thanks to everyone supporting and listening, and just anything you do for the podcast, it's all appreciated. And we'll be back next week. In that number.